Rolls-Royce has long been an automotive bastion of old-world grandeur, crafting some of the most opulent vehicles to ever grace pavement. Their buttery smooth V12 engines seem to purr even at triple-digit speeds, underscoring the brand's commitment to unmatched refinement and rarefied calm. But in an age when cars increasingly run silent on batteries instead of growling on petrol, could the future for even this most traditional of luxury automakers actually be electric? We're talking about a company that still lovingly hand-builds each one of their silky six-figure power plants, imbuing Rolls-Royces with the hushed harmony of mechanical jewelry. Yet with regulations and customer preferences shifting, can this stalwart of luxury motoring embrace electrons over explosions? Is silent, sustainable propulsion coming for Rolls like it has other prestige marques? Rather than electrify an existing offering, the revered Brits built something completely bespoke from the ground up to make a uniquely electric statement. Debuting the Spectre Coupe as the brand's inaugural EV represents no small undertaking given Rolls' weighted heritage and discerning clients. As the first battery Rolls readies to grace roadways by year's end, spectators hold breath awaiting if the Spectre can retain the brand's magic while pioneering radically different locomotion. Will loyal Rolls buyers accustomed to being transported on tides of torque accept traveling via a spectral whisper instead of a dozen cylinders? As the world's first all-electric roller nears deliveries, all eyes fixate on whether violating vows of internal combustion risks eroding the trust of patrons who worship Rolls-Royce's resolute decadence. Or does embracing electrification display the vision to propel heritage into the future while upholding standards of peerless refinement? Either way, the Spectre Coupe's emergence promises a spectacular pivot stage, managing immense expectations on both sides of the powertrain divide. So grab your glass of bubbly, and let's explore the dawn of a battery-powered era, posing either the promise of extending an unparalleled legacy, or the threat of muffling the very heartbeats defining this eminent mark for over a century. When you think Rolls-Royce, you probably imagine pearl-white luxury cars wafting down the street, engines purring so quietly that only the owners can faintly hear them. We're talking about a brand that hangs its Gucci loafer-shod feet on building some of the most tranquil vehicles in automotive history. But in our age of increasing electric vehicle adoption and ever more stringent emissions legislation, could even the purveyors of some of the ultimate aspirational autos resist the siren song of battery power? Rather than electrify one of their existing gazillion-dollar models, Rolls-Royce decided to build something completely new, from the ground up, to showcase what silent luxury could look like within the Rolls repertoire. No small task for a marque rooted in a different era of motoring. But if anyone could find a way to pair electrification with Rolls' signature magic carpet rides and trademark tranquility, you'd certainly hope it would be Rolls-Royce themselves. After years of development, Rolls finally unveiled the Spectre Coupe earlier this year, proudly presenting their inaugural EV born from a clean sheet, destined to begin deliveries by late 2023. But will it meet expectations? Can it retain the brand's legendary refinement? Does this herald the dawn of a promising new chapter for Rolls-Royce? Or does it foreshadow the dilution of core elements long expected from the badge? Rolls set out to imbue the Spectre with performance on par with their 12-cylinder models, targeting a 0 to 60 miles per hour sprint under 5 seconds thanks to nearly 700 lb to ft of instant electric torque. Prototype test drives seem to confirm its neck-straining acceleration matches the engine the company so lovingly hand-assembles. Yet the car's eerily quiet propulsion clearly contributes a uniquely distinct experience absent the mellifluous sounds so central to their brand heritage. While the Spectre may dash with hushed fury befitting of a roller, traditional clients also expect cosseting comfort and waving grace from the marque. This demands not only appropriate performance, but a ride quality living up to expectations. To that end, Rolls designed the Spectre on a unique aluminum platform and employed all their chassis wizardry to support their famed wafting feel. First impressions from early prototype drives suggest the car retains the Rolls DNA of being astonishingly quiet and preternaturally smooth, though hearing new sounds like tire noise accents the different dynamic. As Rolls-Royce extends tentative tendrils into the trenches of electrification, while attempting to safeguard engine echoes from a bygone era, the Spectre clearly promises a spectacular capstone celebrating their history. Yet, simultaneously, it may muffle the throaty V12 heartbeats growing fainter as batteries signal a takeover of Rolls' internal combustion staying power. But even dyed-in-the-wool Rolls traditionalists, questionably eyeing this electrons-powered trespass on sacred soil, would likely concede that the brand aims to uphold their standards of unmatched luxury with the Spectre. Alas, they face added pressure given the car's role, solidifying their evolving identity. Like it or not, puffs from spent hydrocarbons now dissipate in the rearview as increasingly austere legislation closes the curtains on the old-world extravagance Rolls-Royce enveloped itself within for so long. But will clients bred on V12 ambrosia accept such a radical reinvention, relying on the mere specter of sound for motivation? Or does the spectral whirring of electric motors undermine the heritage cherished by those coveting the Rolls cachet? Early impressions following prototype drives seem promising, yet only upon the Spectre's arrival in clientele's personal garages will perspectives polarize between those applauding Rolls-Royce's electrified evolution versus voices vehemently decrying the loss of beloved V12s. Regardless of such divisions, the auto industry's increasingly electric trajectory cements that internal combustion now races a clock counting down its final ticks as batteries advance their inexorable incursion into even the most celebrated echelons of motoring. By suggesting spectacular stability can coincide with silent electric propulsion, Rolls-Royce indicates confidence that the Spectre model can retain the company's signature traits of peerless luxury and refined engineering that have defined the brand promise for generations. The Flying Ladyhood ornament earned her prominent status by gracing vehicles upholding longtime tenets of unmatched quality and bespoke craftsmanship. Rolls asserts the Spectre will channel this same ethos. Its silent but blistering pace promises no compromise to the splendid champagne-fueled journeys wealthy patrons expect. Even while venturing into all-electric power, Rolls-Royce intends to keep producing traditional V12s in coming years rather than fully abandoning trademark power plants, catering to established clients comfortable with engines while appealing to progressive audiences through emission-free transport. Promising captains of industry can still rely on the Spectre conveys that quiet motors, instead of growling cylinders aside, the company's first battery electric vehicle will uphold their heritage of catering to discerning owners with no less fanfare. As climate change concerns and emissions regulations accelerate the auto industry's pivot towards electrification, Rolls-Royce faced pressure to adapt as well. Though the brand has built an identity around sumptuous V12 engines, the tightening legislative environment and broader market shifts toward battery electric vehicles have guided the entire industry toward embracing electrons over internal combustion regardless of heritage. While old-school enthusiasts may lament this turn, the reality is that venerable automakers like Rolls now have little option but to chart electric courses aligning with where the winds blow and competitive tides turn industry-wide. So despite ties to an old-world ethos of opulence powered by exploding hydrocarbons, Rolls-Royce's hand has essentially been forced, bespoke identity notwithstanding, to don the garb of battery power if they are to retain relevance in an electrifying age.